Ready? So these two cars look exactly the same. But this car is a little bit special. So people ask me all the time, the EV is great, but it's a little more expensive, maintenance seems lower. This one is cheaper, but petrol prices are through the roof. So what makes financial sense? Which one actually is more affordable and which one is easier to maintain? By the end of this video, I'll answer all your questions on ownership on an ICE or an EV. And obviously, I'm going to give you an Excel sheet so you can plug in all your numbers and you can answer for yourself. Okay, so let's get started. So now let's assume you're going to own this car for the next 5 years. You drive roughly 30 kilometers a day, so about 900 kilometers a month. And the loan is at 9% and the down payment is 20%. Now I have taken a particular model, so this can be as real as possible, but you should definitely change the model based on whatever car you're buying. So here, there's a petrol version of the car that comes to about 6.31 lakhs. All right, so you're gonna pay 6.3 lakhs to buy the car, right? Of course not. As you know, this is called ex-showroom price, which means exclusive of other costs. So let's see what's the on-road cost for this car. First, we have to pay road tax. So over here, I'm going to choose Delhi as an example. The ex-showroom price is between 6 to 10, so the tax is right here, 7%. And I'm going to add that. Okay, so that's about 44,190 rupees. And we'll add it, and then we can drive the car home, right? Of course not. Insurance kaun kharidega? Let's add the insurance cost. I'm going to choose the zero depth version of the insurance, and I see that it's about 15,000 rupees for 1 year. So let's add that. Also some other miscellaneous charges that I've added. So we have 4,000 as MCD charge. There's a hypothecation charge. There are number plate changes, etc. So mota, let's take 10,000 rupees and add it over here. And now our total on-road price. Originally we had seen 6.31. Now after all these actual costs, the on-road price is 7 lakh rupees. Let's move forward. Now, after you buy the car, an amazing expense happens. And that expense is maintenance and ownership cost, also known as running cost. And the most obvious cost over here is fuel. So the cost of petrol is around 100 rupees a liter. And I will add that. Let's see, the mileage of the car is 19 is what they claim. We should not believe these claim numbers. Let me reduce it. 1, because it's claimed, and 2, I know you're not a good driver. So let me assume it's 17 kmpl, and let's add that up, assuming 300 kilometers a month. And then we have maintenance. This is something most of us miss. All of us think, ki yaar, I've bought this car, maintain to main kar lunga. But care is expensive time-wise and money-wise as well. And since 01 cares about the details of the details of the details, and this is why you're watching the episode, we should add these costs. So for maintenance over here, I have the service costs. Please change it for your car. Now we took the cost of only 1 year of insurance. But ab 4 saal aur chalaoge na gaadi. You own the car for 5 years. So we will add all the 4 years ka cost of the insurance as well. So I'll add it here. Now, assuming you're driving this car 900 kilometers a month, in 5 years, you'll definitely change the tires. So let me add that cost as well. The replacement cost is around 18,000 rupees. Now, I want to add all of this up and see the actual cost of ownership. Remember, what was the ex-showroom price of this car? 6.3 lakhs was the cost. Now, after adding all of this, the actual cost is an extra 4.2 lakh rupees on top of the on-road price, which means the total cost of driving the vehicle is 11.1 lakhs. People look at the ex-showroom price and then they say, oh, this is the cost, but it's not. We added all this up and it's almost double. But you know what? There's one cost that you're completely missing, which I'll tell you in just a bit. But before that, let's look at the cost of the EV car. So now let's do the EV car. And we can see that the ex-showroom price is 7.99 lakhs. It is more expensive than the petrol, but that's fine. If you look at both of these cars, the EV and the ICE, they're actually pretty identical, which is why we took this as an example. The only difference is one is electric and the other is not. Next, I want you to look at this. It says tax over here, and the tax for our EV is 0. Now, this is assumed that you make the purchase in Delhi. So, if you look at this, every state has a different tax structure and the incentives keep changing. Kabhi aa jata hai subsidy, kabhi it removes. So, please, in the Excel, based on what your state is and what the rule is, you can change whether the rebate exists or not. Then we have my favorite, insurance. Now, see, the car was 20-30% more expensive. So the insurance naturally should also go up by 20-30%, right? Right? Lekin ye sach nahi hai. The EV example that we've taken, the cost actually doubles. I wanna know why. In fact, before this video, I myself actually did not know this. So here's what we found. The first thing is that the insurance is actually covering the battery in an accidental claim. So ideally, you should insure the battery as well for non-accidental incidences as well. And because of that, the cost goes up. So in this case, it's 29,405. It's almost double. We'll add this to the sheet and then we'll move on to range. Mwah, I love this. When EV vehicles were launched initially, the range was not that great. So people would have this range anxiety. When I used to drive my Wagoner, actually, I knew the car so well, I knew exactly kitne kilometer I have to drive to get to my petrol station. But in EV, it's not petrol, right? It's range. And if the range is too less, then you get this range anxiety because you need two things. One, either you have a charging station very often on your route, but that's not the case. But the cool thing is that a lot of these apps, including the manufacturer apps, give you access to where these charging stations are so you can plan your route properly, which I guess is a good thing. But the overall penetration still sucks, huh? Like overall, look at these stats. It's not even close to what we get in ICE right now. The other is sometimes the range itself isn't long enough. So you have to keep charging it again and again. And for some people, that's not ideal. But I found something a little crazy in the brochure. I want to really show you this, okay? Take a look at this. Over here it says, certified full range, 223 kilometers on a single charge. Amazing, right? But if you look right below it, you'll see it says, estimated real world driving range, 168. That's like what, 60 kilometers ka farak. So when you see the advertising might say the higher number. So you might want to check with whatever car you're going with, does this also exist for your car? Like what's the real world range versus the certified range? Because this is quite a big gap in my opinion. Then we have the electricity cost. In Delhi, I'm going to assume the average of 7 rupees a unit. Please change it based on how much you will be charged in your state. Then we have maintenance. Now, in an EV vehicle, the maintenance is actually really good because it is 20 to 30% cheaper. And logically, it makes sense because there are less moving parts. Less moving part means less wear and tear. Comparison with ICE, electric wins hands down over here. So we'll assume 4,000 rupees for the EV vehicle for maintenance a year. I'm gonna add this. Cool. And then we have tires. Tires, no change. Just like the ICE vehicle, we should replace it every 5 years at least. Also notice that the EV tires I've added here are slightly more expensive than the ICE vehicle because of the battery. The car is heavier, so you might want slightly better tires here. So I'll put 20,000 over here for the EV tires. Now, for the grand finale, we have ICE vehicle ke costs here and we have the EV vehicle costs here, but something's missing. Like I told you, there are two things over here that we did not include. And if you guessed it, pause the video right now, put it in the comments if you know what I'm going to say, and it's interest. Interest is the cost that you are paying to the bank because you've taken a freaking loan. And none of us add the interest as a cost. We just look at the EMI and say, ho gaya. But let's do this. Let's add the interest for both of these vehicles. You would imagine that they're both the same. But no, we've paid more for the EV vehicle, so the interest will also be higher. Let's see what it is. 1.37 lakhs for the ICE vehicle and 1.65 lakhs almost for the EV vehicle. And there's one more thing over here, but before I tell you this, can you do one thing for me? If you notice, every time Zerodha makes a video, we give you an Excel sheet. We try to make your personal finance decisions better. And we're noticing more and more people are watching this on television with their families. Our entire team is optimized for only one thing, and that's impact stories. Are we really making a difference in your life? Because when I meet you in person, you tell me these crazy stories, which I never get to hear when we are talking like this to you on YouTube. So if you have a story that Zerodha has helped you or something, maybe from this you learned something, put that story in the comments. The entire team, there are a lot of us, we'll all read it. Now, back to the comparison. And then we have resale value. So I'm going to add this and let's understand the resale value between the EV car and our lovely ICE vehicle. Okay. So we'll assume that you want to sell the car after 5 years, which means your overall cost of ownership actually reduces because some money comes back. Now the difference is this, that the EV car's value is derived from its battery. The battery's value is a little tough to figure out, and we have some 3 ways where you can actually measure the health of a battery, but there are no standards yet. For most EV manufacturers, if you look at this, the battery pack is about 8 years or 1.6 lakh kilometers, whichever is earlier. Now let's suppose you own the car for 5 or 6 years and you plan to resell it. The guy who's buying it literally is owning it for the next 3 or 2 years. So the life is defined as limited. And that's why the resale value actually reduces. Because if he has to replace the battery, it becomes an expensive affair. So basically, when you sell the ICE vehicle after 5 years, you'll get about roughly, let's say, 50% of its value. And for the EV car, you'll get about 30 or 40%. In many cases, this also may not be true if the battery has a major fault in it because the car is the battery. But I'll still assume 30 to 40% as resale. And if I add all of this up, the clear winner is electric vehicle. The EV. Can we clap? The EV wins by 40,000 rupees, but I actually don't agree. I don't think the EV actually won. Let me show you a little bit of magic. On this Excel sheet, I'm going to change a bunch of things. Let's say I change the usage from the current 900 to 1,500 kilometers a month. The ICE car will never be able to beat the EV, and the EV will win even more. But if I remove the subsidy that you got for the electric vehicle, that discount, that rebate, then the ICE vehicle actually wins pretty well. And then I have a friend who drove the EV and his ICE, and he absolutely loved the EV because the torque, that initial thrust was amazing, and he absolutely loved the car. And that's actually a good reason to buy the EV. Another petrol head had a bunch of other reasons why he thought petrol was good, because the engine growled and he just felt ki, bhai, this is a good car. My point is, we can do all these Excel sheets and now you actually know the real costs. But you should buy the car which you actually enjoyed. And since this is the end of the video, I know that you will listen fully and hopefully you'll be smart about it. There are actually only 3 or 4 things you need to care about. On the financial side, my only request is don't overextend yourself and make this car a burden, because if it becomes a burden, all these memories na negate. Life bahut lambi hai. I promise you, everything you ever wanted, you'll get all of it. But you won't get it now. You'll get it over a period of time. So, Financially, if you're sorted, go to the showroom and freaking buy that car.